The brain is the most complex organ in the human body. It controls our thoughts, memories, motor skills, and every single process that regulates our body. Over at the Belize International Institute of Neuroscience in University Heights, Doctor Andre Cervantes is using electroencephalogram technology on his patients to test the functionability of their brains.
The Eeg machine, it is a technology that has existed for many, many years, but the modern version, the digital form of it, is that it is a machine that measures brain waves. So it will test the different types of waves, which is electricity, that's produced on the surface of the brain in the different areas, left, right side, front, back, and the communication they have within regions. So in a nutshell, that is testing the functionality of the brain.
X-rays, ultrasounds, CAT scans, and MRI scans show the physical makeup of the skull and tissues around the head or inside the head. B.I.N's diagnostic technology actually unlocks information from inside the brain to explain the conditions that patients are battling with.
An example, we're looking to buy a car. So we look at the car. We look at it on the outside, look at the tires, we look at the hood. We look under the hood to see if anything looks like, it's disconnected. Is the engine clean? We open the car door, we sit down inside. How's the door open? Right? What else am I going to do? Look at the dashboard to see how many miles or kilometers it has run. That is what basically X-rays, CAT scans, ultrasound, and MRIs do. Now, if you want to know how it functions, that's what an EEG does. You have to start the car, and you have to listen to the sound. How does it start up? Is it struggling? Does it turn on immediately? Do I have to gas it? And then if you're looking to get that vehicle, that car, you want to test drive. So it's not the same thing test driving for 5 minutes. You take a little drive than if you test maybe 20 minutes. In other words, the EEG is like when those guys take a sensor to see how the computer of a car is working. So what we're testing for, depending on the needs of the patient, is to see how the brain is functioning.
Dr. Cervantes, the medical director at the Institute, explains that this procedure can be helpful to anyone affected by amnesia, insomnia, depression, autism, unexplained migraines, epilepsy, and any changes in one's capacity to think.
It could be that you get up one day and you say, I am not myself. Something is wrong. I've been feeling like this for the past days, weeks, months. I cannot pinpoint. I've been to my doctor. And it's like my doctor is very good and I always go to him or her, but they kind of dispel me, but something is wrong. Can you call in and get an appointment to get one of these tests done? Definitely. Even if it's the basic type of EEG, because it at least will give you a glimpse inside the brain. So you don't have to have a condition per se. In fact, there are places that EEGs are done like to see if members of a team, a professional athletic team, or people that have to think a lot, are they functioning well? Executives in a company, how are they working? Are they fine? Is something like they're not themselves? Do they have a little bit of brain fog? It's not like they're a little bit slightly confused, but you're pushing it off. No, man, I don't have anything. X could fix this. I wait for Friday. And then you end up having little glitches at work. And then your supervisor's a bit not content with you.
According to Dr. Cervantes, by partnering with its board-certified E.E.G neurologists in the U.S. to analyze the collected data, B.I.N eliminates any margin of error. World-renowned neurologist Dr. Phil Kennedy is one of those board-certified EEG neurologists. In the late 90s, Dr. Kennedy made global headlines for implanting several wire electrodes in the brain of a mute, paralyzed man, and then teaching the locked-in patient to control a computer cursor with his mind. He spoke with us briefly via Zoom about his work and partnership with B.I.N.
I've done several things, but my latest, I guess, is to do the brain-computer interfacing. And we're specifically focusing on speech, on restoring speech to people who are locked in. That is, they're totally paralyzed, they can't speak, but they're still in there. They're aware of what's going on. And they need speech, as one of them told me, to make them feel human again. You asked me about Dr. Cervantes. Well, you know, he's worked. He worked on one patient back a few years ago, and he also implanted me in my brain with several electrodes. And with all that data, we've been able to decode speech. In other words, understand how the neural signals that we record from the part of the speech area just here above your ear, that area controls my mouth, my tongue, my movements. So it actually controls how I produce speech.
The EEG procedure is non-invasive and completely painless. The basic test lasts for approximately 30 minutes, but based on the need of the patient, B.I.N may require longer sampling of brain recordings, which can last from 60 minutes up to 3 hours.
Usually people go to get a study or to get a treatment at a medical facility. And many times, even if, you know, people are friendly and people are service oriented, there's not that spa experience. We have made it a spa experience to make it very comfortable, whether you've come for a study to get a diagnosis, something answered, or you've come to get a treatment to correct something that is not well with your brain.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.